Okay, so the frame is pretty simple. It's just a typical frame. You put it in there with your Lexan sandwiched in between, and you just go ahead and tighten up your screws with just a twist. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now once those are tight, then you'll lock the frame up to dry the metal, or the, dry the Lexan. So what we do is I'm going to put you down for a minute. You unlock this handle, and then you go ahead and slide it up. Go ahead and lock it. Heating element is up there in the hood, and we'll go over here to our digital controller, and we'll go ahead and turn it on 192 degrees to start drying. Now you can see the controller has gone ahead and jumped up to 264, but the little red dot is not on. What it is that the thermocouple needs time to heat soak, so you get a couple wild swings up front. However, you see it going back down. You can see the element is off. When this hits 192, it'll go ahead and kick back on, and the element will do some wild swings until it starts to stabilize a little bit. At that time, you go ahead and lock your Lexan up all the way, and then once it's locked up all the way, it'll kind of keep itself in. You see the elements coming back on. It gets pretty hot, so back to the controller. 180, it's on. 215, it goes and clicks off, and because it's set on 192, and it'll go ahead and stabilize itself once you get everything up there and everything's heat soaked. So I'm going to go ahead and raise the Lexan and start the drying process. Okay, so now the Lexan is locked up, and I'll give you a shot of the element here. It should be kicking on in about 2 or 3 seconds here. And should be coming on pretty quick. There you go, the element should be coming on. And it should be going off here in just a second. There, I went ahead and clicked back off. So it's going to go back off again. And it'll just go ahead and just leave your plastic up there, and it will go ahead and dry. Once it's dried, we'll go ahead and fill the accumulator tank. This is our vacuum gauge here. This is our vacuum release lever, and this is our tank down here at the bottom. We've got our Venturi that's over the tank that pulls a vacuum on our accumulator tank. And we'll run this gauge all the way until it says 25 once we fill that up. Now we'll do that after we do the drying process. This is a simple particle board. We've got 2 holes here for our suck holes, and this right here is just netting from drywall tape, and that will keep it from bridging off. And we'll go through the machine. This is made out of metal stud for walls. It's a metal wall stud. The hood is metal wall stud. These are sections of metal wall stud for the top. This is some 1 1/4 inch pipe right here. It goes into 1.25 inch square tubing. These are lock screws on the side. The entire machine, you can go ahead and break it down to travel with it. This is your slide frame. These are your lock handles that go in here. And once again, this is that same 1.5 inch or 2 inch tubing. I forget which one it is. These are ball bearing slides from a file cabinet that aid in the smooth movement of our trolley. This trolley that holds the plastic slides up and down. and once the plastic is hot, we'll go ahead and slide it down and lock it down. Like I said, particle board, 2-ply particle board here to give us the required height we need to clear the bottom of our frame thickness. And this is just silicone RTV, acts as a small seal. It's a little bit raised around to seal off easier on the Lexan, and the other side is the same. Now we have our heater wires right here, and those 2 wires come around and go to our digital controller. The digital controller is a Love controller, and it goes to 999 degrees Fahrenheit, and I believe it's a 10 amp, 220 volt, and is $55 at Grainger. Now the heating element inside is an Electrolux heating element. It's $27 at an appliance place. You can probably see it pretty good. And you just uncoil it. It'll uncoil to about 15 feet long if you really wanted to. And then we have a single Type J thermocouple that is right in the middle there, and it just sits up there in free air and records the temperature. Okay, we're back, and the Lexan has been drying for about 40 minutes, and we've gone ahead and turned the air on to our Venturi. That's the Venturi right there. It's pulling a vacuum on our accumulator tank. You see our gauge here. Looks like we're only going to get about 23 inches tonight, which will be fine for a good pull. And we're going to go ahead and take our wood putty mold that is right there. You can see it pretty much fills up the whole screen. This is about the biggest you would want to pull on a puller this size. It's a 1/10 scale 2-wheel drive buggy body. I'm chewing this body. Okay, I didn't want y'all to listen to my air compressor going off, but now that it's full, we're going to go ahead and look at this. Okay, this is a 2-wheel drive buggy body. It's about as big as you would want to pull. You can see it pretty much fills up the entire frame. I'm choosing this because it's got a lot of sharp detail. This is just to illustrate a purpose. We are not selling these bodies. This is just a splash of a factory body that's just going to be used for illustration purposes because of all the sharp details and the size of it on a machine of this capacity. So once again, we've got 25 in our tank, and from here on out I'm going to go ahead and get my heater back on, and we'll go ahead and film the entire process. Okay, so our set point has been set to 512 degrees. We're going to go ahead and shine up under here. Don't get too close. You can see the heating element is on, and the Lexan has sagged a little bit. It will go ahead and tighten back up, and then it will completely start to relax. In the plastic state, right here, it's starting to tighten back up. And then once it tightens, it will go ahead and start to sag in the plastic state. Once we get a couple inches of sag, we'll go ahead and pull it down and start the vacuuming process. It has fully tightened up and is starting to sag. And it has sagged about an inch and a half. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and lock it down and hit the pull. Okay, and you can see that we are down, we're tight, we're at about 130 degrees right now. You can go ahead and turn your vacuum off. We can turn our heater off. You see our valve is back up now. You can see we're building pressure back in our tank. So our vacuum tube plastic is off, and we'll go ahead and release it. Okay, so here's our body. We've gone ahead and turned the heater off, so that's not getting so hot. We've gone ahead and emptied our tank, and now we're going to remove our 4 screws of our frame. Okay, we've got our 4 screws removed. We can go ahead and take our top frame over. Take our mold and our block out. And there it is. There it is, a perfectly molded 10 scale 2-wheel drive buggy body. I'll go ahead and get some scissors out. We'll go ahead and get this trimmed out, and I'll show it to you after it's been roughed out. We've gone ahead and made a couple cuts on the front. We had a little bit stuck underneath the front, and there's your shell. Right there. You can see we've got good detail. We've got good window detail. Everything comes around. Everything is nice. You can see that there's a parting line molded in. You can definitely see the clarity that goes through this, and that's how you form a Lexan body.